welcome everybody to 1 hour of miniature goodness. Now hopefully we have sound working today and I'm in sync, so please let me know everybody if everything is working normally, because the last few streams I've had many problems. So please let me know in chat if everything is good. All good? See, Michelle is my lucky charm, look. Okay, let me say hello to everybody. And of course, Michelle was first in chat because she has a day off. Woohoo! We got my Scorpio in chat. I can see BNL Minis. Hello, BNL Minis. Nafe's in chat. Paintley gets in chat. Rod's in chat. Ty's in chat. The Waffle Witch. Hello, Waffle Witch. And of course, we got Tal's in chat. And he made it early this time, so he's okay. Now tonight is a bit of a mix match stream because I wanted to show you some of the heavyweight metal miniatures I have from Reaper Miniatures, and I've also got a preview miniature from the Bone 6 Kickstarter. Now it's the metal version that you get in the core set, so we'll start off with that one. Let me give a little spinny wheel. Now this is the first miniature I wanted to show you. This is the metal version, but it's actually in the Bone 6 Kickstarter in the core set. Now let me get some focus. It's a beautiful, beautiful little... It's a little hobbit riding a dragon. A little hobbit riding a little baby dragon. And let me see, I got the correct names here. I've got the... this is the pack. All these miniatures, of course, are available on the Reaper website now. But of course, you'll get the Bones version of this miniature from the Bone 6 Kickstarter. It's an absolutely gorgeous mini. Now what I'll do is I'll show you these metal miniatures tonight, and I think we should be able to blast through one of them, because especially the one behind there, that one would be a very easy one to finish. But this is an absolutely beautiful little miniature. It's got a little hobbit on there. Roderick Amber Mead and Glitter. So I'm assuming the Glitter must be the dragon. Now I don't know if I'm going to paint him in a little glittery dragon. I am sure Scorpio would love a nice little glittery dragon, but as you can see, he's a little tiny hobbit. Again, let's get some more focus. You'll have to excuse me for zooming in and out, but there you go. You can tell he's a hobbit because he's got his little hobbit feet. Look, he's got little hairy hobbit feet. Hello, Kaywood Publishing. Awesome to see you. Now I thought you might like this stream because it's all your metal goodness. Okay, we'll zoom back out and we'll go on to the next one. Let's go out a little bit more. Now let's have a look. This is this one is called the Cavern Worm, and this is solid metal. All these are solid metal and they are heavy. Now Kaywood Publishing in chat, he is old school like myself, collector of metal miniatures from Reaper. So he's probably already got this one in his collection. Yeah, of course he has. There he is. Oh, I have that one. I have 4 of them. I tell you something, if you saw Andrew Kaywood's collection of metal miniatures, it would blow your mind. Absolutely gorgeous miniature. Oh, and by the way, as you can see, I've mounted these all on 75mm bases. I've added some sand and some extra large rocks just to give a little bit of, because he's coming out of the ground. He's going to be all grey, of course. We'll probably paint this one up today because it's going to be so simple after I've done showing you these miniatures. But I'm going to leave that up to you. The only miniature I can't paint today is the large dragon, because the actual the Veleco putty is still drying on the wings. Like I say, these are all the metal collection and they are available on the website now. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Oh, actually, let me get the 4 scale in there so you can get a little bit of size. Now, I like these size miniatures because they fit in your dungeons really well. I'm not a huge fan of extra large dragons, extra large monsters. I like everything that's going to fit in a tabletop dungeon. Some of the Reaper miniatures are absolutely huge, and for me, because I've only got a small house anyway, and my table, I've got a 6 foot by 3 table, and even then they look too big on my gaming table. Now again, going back to Kwood Publishing, he does his weekly games, and he posts them onto YouTube, and he, I think, is the same as me. He doesn't want these huge, great big miniatures, because we are metal collectors as well. You weren't able to get these huge dragons in metal because it would just cost you an absolute fortune. So we're used to having miniatures this size in metal, and of course the feel of that. Just hear that, metal. Absolutely awesome. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Now this miniature I have been wanting to paint for such a long time. This thank you for subscribing, Bo Splitter, and welcome again to the show. This miniature I've been wanting to paint for a long time. Now you've all seen me paint the plastic bones version of the purple worm. This is the metal version. Now the metal version is very special because it's the only version that comes with the tail. So we actually get the complete worm with the metal version. So I've put this on the new oval bases by MSP, by Base Boss bases, and of course you got the tail there. So you can actually have it on any size base, and you can make that worm smaller or larger just by placing the tail in a different position on the miniature. And again, I've just added some gravel to make it look like it's popping up through the earth. But this is the metal version. It's absolutely beautiful if you like your purple worms, of course. This is a classic miniature for all your games, especially Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder. Thank you, Mr. Andrew Kwood. Okay, let me show you the next one. I'll give you a quick scale for size, put a little 4 scale in there. Like I say, all these miniatures are just primed. There's no painting done to them yet, of course. Okay, so we got the Formorian Giant. Now, as you can see, I've already added a nice cobbled base, broken cobbled base to the actual miniature. Let's see if we can. It's a very dark one. This. See if I can lift this up a little bit. See if we get some more light. Because of the dark primer, of course, it's not showing up fantastically well on the camera, so I apologise. We'll give you a nice little 360. He's a good size. It looks like he's giving Sir Forescale a pat on the back for being a good little knight. This giant, he's got a little rat creature on his shoulder there, which is a very, very nice touch to the miniature. Hello, James McCoy. Yeah, I agree with you. BHL minis. But this is going to be a beautiful miniature to paint, and again, solid metal, Reaper metal goodness. Okay, let me get on to the next one. Now the next one, of course, this is the Hill Giant. Now this is definitely one of my favourites. Now I did have a little problem with this miniature, and that was the base. The base was not flat. It must have had a little bit of a problem in the mould process. So if you see, I've actually put them onto a very large sculpted clay base. Now the reason for that is the actual miniature base was totally round for about ½ centimetre. It was a total round base at the bottom, so it's like a weeble wobble, but it doesn't fall down. That type of base. So I've had to build that up. I got a little bit more to build up on the back here, but that's the depth. That's the depth the base went. So I just filled it up with clay and worked my way around. But it's an absolutely fantastic miniature. This is a Jason Wiebe miniature. I think it's one of Jason Wiebe's old school sculpts, that's for sure. but it's absolutely beautiful. We might paint this one up in a minute. It's very, very nice. Yes, definitely a classic miniature. Beautiful, beautiful. And it's definitely got that old school feel. It's got that old school giant feel. And of course, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example here of how the miniatures have progressed over the years. Now, this miniature, maybe Andrew can help me with this one, but this miniature, I think we're going back 15 or more years, definitely for this one, I think. And now we look at the updated bones. These are the bones giants now. So you can see the difference. You can see the difference how the miniatures have changed over the years in size, in bulk. Personally, my favourites are these old metal miniatures here. They're so old school. They got a fantastic, lovely feel to them. Don't get me wrong. I love the Bones miniatures. I love these. This is the new fire. This is the Fire Giant from the Bones 5 Kickstarter, by the way. Absolutely beautiful miniature as well, and the sculpt is fantastic. I'm just saying, because I'm old school, I do actually prefer the old styling in the miniatures. And of course, both these miniatures are absolutely gorgeous. But the sizes of the miniatures are just getting bigger and bigger as they progress throughout the years. Yes, totally agree with what Andrew's saying in chat there. Still a beautiful miniature though. I mean, that sculpt on that face, that is one bad. As on bad giant. Okay, let's move on to the last one. Okay, so the last one is the Brood Dragon. Now, the Brood Dragon you can buy again from Reaper. When you buy the Brood Dragon, again, it's a solid metal miniature. Absolutely stunning, very, very heavy. Now, you can get an optional extra, and that is the Brood Master Dragon Rider. So the Dragon Rider you buy separate, but let me show you the dragon first. So this is what you'd get if you bought the dragon. It's very, as you can see under the wings here, I'll use my little pokey stick. It's still dry, and I've got the Veleco putty just to fill in the little gaps. The Waffle Witch, I do agree with you there. The Bones miniatures are fantastic for anybody new to the hobby, and definitely for the beginner. They're for anybody in the hobby really, but they are definitely the larger miniatures. I mean, this is why, of course, I really enjoy painting the dragons and the larger miniatures on my show. Because it's actually easier for me to make a nice show showing you my painting and how to do different effects on the larger miniatures. It's very difficult for me to paint the very small miniatures on show because of my camera setup as well. But it is overall a lot easier to paint larger miniatures. This is why the Lord of the Rings miniatures that I paint are very difficult to do, because they are true 28mm size. They are to scale, and they are very, very small miniatures compared. So this is the Brood Dragon. Now, what you can do is you can get the Dragon Rider. And this is the Dragon Rider. Again, an absolutely beautiful miniature. Let's see if we can get some focus. There we are. And what it is, the dragon doesn't actually come with a seat, but this just, the tail, on the back of the tail here, just hooks on the back of the dragon. It will work out quite expensive for anybody buying this metal dragon and this rider, but personally, once you get the little dragon rider on there, I'm just going to balance him on for now. Just balance him on there for, there we go. And then you have the dragon rider sitting on top of the beastie. Let's get some more focus. Thank you for subscribing, Bull GM. 20 months. 20 months as a subscriber. Thank you so much. Now this is a beautiful miniature. This miniature, I am not sure, but this might be my giveaway when we get to maybe a 1,000. When we get to 1,000 followers on Twitch, this could be the 1,000 follower giveaway in the solid metal brood dragon. So if you like what I'm doing, tell your friends, tell the world, tell the world. And here comes Renegade Shank, subscribed for 21 months. You just had to do that. Just nudge in front of the Bull GM, didn't you? Thank you so much, Renegade Shank. Oh, there we are. We'll see about this, but we shall get this one painted up. I'm not sure to maybe posting this really heavy metal dragon in the post might be a nightmare, so let me have a think about it. But I am considering this miniature for the 1,000 giveaway on the channel. Okay, so that's all the miniatures. So everybody in chat, let me know in chat which one you want me to start on tonight, and we'll see if we can fly through it quickly, because time is ticking on. So come on people, let me know which one would you like. There you go, a little zoom out so you can see them all again. Well, I can't do the dragon. The big mouth. Purple worm. Worm. Okay, so we want this one then, the worm. Hobbit dragon rider. Okay. Oh, nobody can make their mind up. Hobbit dragon, worm, purple worm. So what we got here? We got the purple worm, the big mouth, painted again. I take it that's what you call in the big mouth, is it? We got more shout outs for the purple worm, so we'll just quickly do the purple worm then, yes? Okay. Yeah, we definitely got more shout outs for the purple worm. Okay, purple worm. It's gonna be very similar to the last stream with the purple, to be honest with you. James McCoy, you nutcase. Hello, Gareth, the Star Wars man. Okay, so this is the purple worm. Very, very simple. We're going to just fly into this. Let me get some paint on the palette. We'll get this finished in 5 seconds. Just drink some of my Ribena wine. Right, for the paint for this one, we shall go with Concrete Grey. We shall go again with that Succubus Kiss that you all loved from the last show. We've got some Witchcraft Purple, of course. Yeah, Witchcraft Purple would be perfect. And a little bit of Skulls and Bone. And that's about it for now, really. It's a very, very simple one. The main thing is getting that base. The base works the dragon, so what we want is a nice gravelly looking base, and then we can work in. I'm going to get some lighter colours on this, so we've got some dragon white. Beano wine, yes. And what else do we need? I think that'll do for now. That'll do for now. Now, hopefully these stones are all dry. Some of them might pop off because I actually rushed through it all today, getting the bases all done up. But they seem to be totally dry now, so that's good. Okay, we've got our little spinny wheel. Thank you for the cheers, Bull GM. Oh, I want to show you. Actually, I want to show you before we start today. I want to show you one thing. Let me just show you one more thing before we start, because that's going to take 5 seconds to do. I want to show you one thing, and this is for Rod. I don't know if Rod is still in chat. I don't know if Rod is still in chat, but I finished Rod's trophy today. Now Rod has won the last Mordor paint competition on Twitter. The next Mordor paint competition will be in 2 months' time. I'm having a little break from the competition because I've got so much work to catch up on. But all these trophies are actually handmade, and I wanted to stress that out, that not only are you getting a Goblin King trophy for winning the actual competition on Twitter that I do, it's also handmade and painted by myself. So it's something extra special, and what I wanted to show you is how I make the miniature. I just thought it was just something quite cool. Now, I had a very, very nice, fantastic guy actually sculpt this talking stupid again. He sculpted me the miniature of the Goblin King, which is this miniature here. Okay. I just thought it was really interesting to show you how these trophies are made. It's not just a shop bought trophy. I paid someone a fortune for a 3D. He actually printed out these miniatures, not printed them out. He actually sculpted, designed. There, that's the word I'm looking for. He designed these miniatures for me. So what you do is each miniature is then 3D printed at home on my 3D printer. Then of course the next stage is I paint the miniature in gold. So you've got the little gold miniatures all painted up nicely. Then the next stage is I paint brown Agrex Earthshade all over the miniature. And that's about it really. I stick the miniature to the base, and then the miniature is given 3 or 4 coats of satin varnish, just so it makes it nice and strong. And then of course I have the actual trophy stand, and these are actually gold plated. These are actually gold plated stick-on little things that go onto the actual trophy there. So that's about it really. I just wanted to show you that because I just found it quite interesting. How the trophy comes together and how awesome it is. You're not just winning a trophy, you're winning something very special from the Goblin King. So in the future, when I restart the competition on Twitter, I hope you all have a go and enjoy yourselves. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm just very proud of that trophy. I think it looks absolutely awesome. You're most welcome, Rod, and congratulations once again. Right, let's make a start. Sorry about that. Right then, just washing my brush. Thank you, Stuart, and hello, Stuart. Welcome. It's absolutely awesome to see Michelle in chat. We have totally missed you so much in chat. You are definitely missed when you are at work. I know you pop in for 5 seconds on your lunch and everything else, but we all love you so much, and it's just amazing when you are actually on the show to say hello to us. Right, going straight into the grey. Thank you for the subscribe. And thank you for the cheers, Gareth. Okay, so I'm just quickly going to go over all this area, just quite lightly over all the different rocks. Just spin it around as we go. Now, I am really enjoying these new oval bases. They're not new, but they're new to me. Let's get this into the picture. So what we're just trying to do is work the cavern floor, as I say. So nice grey, going all the way around nice and even, and we can just highlight each part. Just go over those rocks, brighten them up a little bit. I'm just going to add a little bit of grey, tiny touch of white into the grey. I'm actually going to change this brush because it's holding too much water, and I'm just going to a medium dry brush from Army Painter. There's too much water on that brush and it wasn't coming off fast enough, so there we go, that's better. So we're just again going over the highest areas, just hitting those little rocks. See, that rock is a little bit loose there, so we've got to be careful. It's not 100% dry, so I have to be careful how I'm adding the paint tonight on these miniatures. When you're making bases, it's always best to leave them for 24 hours, especially if you're using PVA glue. But I was rushing a little bit earlier, and I'm bad for doing that. I need to try to prep up my miniatures at least a day before. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you to Michelle for the gift sub. So I'm just working my way around very slowly here. Don't need too much, it's just for the cavern floor. The main emphasis will be on our worm, because you want to make him look like he's ripping out of the actual ground. Okay, what we're going to do is go straight onto the purple with this worm here, and then we'll move back to the base. So we're going to use the Succubus Kiss, which is a favourite now of a lot of the goblins. Hello, Ron, the Goblin Emperor is in chat. Now, I used this Succubus Kiss. This is from the Dungeon Dwellers paint set from Reaper, and it works absolutely perfect underneath the base coat of the purple. Now, today we are actually using white, so it could be a completely different situation. So we'll see how we get on. Now I'm going to go with a very heavy blast over the metal areas. Not worried at all about the paint so far. Like I say, it's absolutely super simple, easy paint to do these little wormies, and they're great fun, especially if you're a beginner and you want to do a nice easy little miniature. Now we want to make the shorter tail is the same colour because that is popping out of the ground, so we just add some of this here. Now I'm not worried about the white behind because this miniature is actually going to get a black ink wash, and that will push into all the recesses of this miniature. So there is method in the madness. What's happening with that white, it will be pushing out the colours a little bit more and making them pop. But once this miniature is finished, you'll see what I'm talking about. Just chuck on all that lovely paint. Okay, I'm going to Witchcraft Purple now. I've already B&L minis. I have painted the leeches. I think there's a I think I got I think I did a video, I can't remember. If I haven't done a video, then I definitely posted pictures of the finished miniatures on Twitter somewhere. I know I actually I know I painted the leeches, but I have got more leeches to paint, so I can do more in the future, that is for sure. Now I am trying my best with the with my Twitch streams. As you know, I'm doing mainly Reaper only now, but I know many of you love my WizKids miniatures painting. So what I'll be doing, I did a little poll on Twitter and a poll on YouTube. So I will be carrying on doing my weekly WizKids YouTube videos, but it will only be for YouTube. It won't be on Twitch, it'll just be for YouTube. So there will be extra content coming out in the future. Now what I'm doing now is I'm going straight onto the purple, and we're just going over a little bit of the purple. Now I need to make it a little bit darker just here. I need to start adding a little bit of dark shade. I want to make it darker underneath. It is a little bit too light with the white undercoat. I should have definitely used a black primer for this miniature. Now the reason I did it in white to begin with was to show you the miniature to begin with, because when I did the priming in black last time, you couldn't actually see the actual miniature very well when I was giving you a preview of the miniature. This is why I did most of the actual miniatures today in a white undercoat, but it's fine because I've just added a tiny bit of black to that purple, and we're just gonna add it just underneath here. This is where the shade would be, so we're just gonna blend that in nicely. And on the underside where the light source would be much darker, so we're just hitting that now. This is a little bit of black mixed in with the purple, and we're just hitting the underside of the wormy there, and just under the face. This is where all the shadow would be, so we're just hitting that just here. And once again, it's just a tiny bit of black added into the purple. And we're just going to add that just here. This is definitely where there'd be shadows if the light source was coming from above. So we're just going to push that black and purple into there. And that's what we want. And just here, you see where the shadow is across the back there? Again, we've got a little bit of purple. Just adding a tiny bit of black. And then we just work our way up with that nice shadow. So we've got purple and black, and this is giving us a nice shadow effect around the worm. So this is important to do if you want to get a nice shade on your miniature, especially for lighting. See, that's working a lot nicer now. So definitely recommended that you paint your miniature definitely with the black primer first. Like I say, I showed you in white so you could actually see the miniature, but of course I've had to move on, and we're just building up that shade from underneath the miniature now. And just at the bottom here we need to do a little bit there, again purple, a little bit of black, and we just hit the bottom. Nice big brush. All working for me there. Right, awesome. That looks fab already now. Starting to come to shape now. Starting to get some nice colours, and we're starting to get the correct tones for the shades going around this miniature. Very, very simple, as you can see. Right, wash my brush, and what we're going to do now is we're going to start adding lighter colours to the top of the worm and going down the sides and around here as well. Yes, and as everybody knows, Andrew Kaywood does not like his miniatures painted. He is a stickler for having them as metal only, which is fine, I mean, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna say anything about Andrew's colour blindness, and that's fine. But here we go. Right, so a little bit more purple. And of course we've got some dragon white on it, so now we're going to highlight the top of this miniature, and that's again very, very simple. We're going back into the purple, and this time I'm actually adding white to the mix there. So we've got a nice kind of pinky purple, and we'll just start hitting the top of the worm. And just here, again, this is where the light would be hitting the worm. Super fast and simple. And along the top of this bit here, yeah, it is killing me inside. It is killing me inside. Okay, we're going to let that dry off a bit, and we'll move back to the base area. Now, this is an earthworm or rockworm. It's popped up through the rocks. So we're going to carry on working around with the rocks here. So we're going back into our grey. And I'm just adding a little bit of white there. And these are drying, as we can just highlight them a little bit more. The worm flies off the base. Right, okay. Now, of course, we need to add some green, and you know I all love my green. A little bit of green just on the base, just to add a little bit of old school feel to it. B&L Minis, they have got another worm, and if you want a big worm, Reaper Miniatures have a big worm. I can't remember offhand what the worm's called. I have painted one, and it's about 4, 5, 6 times bigger than this one. But oh, Rod, you're upsetting me now. I am not a bait fisherman. I am not a bait fisherman. I am a fly fisherman. You can keep your can of worms to yourself, mate. Oh, bait fisherman. Okay, let's just add a little bit of green. We just dot this around, just a little tiny bit. It just gives a little bit of flavour to the actual base. I do like these oval bases. Works perfect for this worm because it's got that long long feel to it. Oh, I can't find my words tonight, that's for sure. Alright, we're just going to let this dry a bit. Now, the mouth on this miniature has lots of little teeth. There's lots of little teeth inside there. What we're going to do there is going to leave that for now because it's going to be impossible to show you how to paint inside that mouth because of the angle of the actual miniature. So what we're going to do is we're just going to finish off the actual miniature itself, and then the teeth will be just Agrax Earthshade with bleached bone onto the teeth inside the mouth. It's very simple. Okay, moving on. That's all we need, tiny bit of green on there. So Captain Emo, hello! It's very, very difficult. It's very, very difficult in this day and age to do anything, Captain Emo. So I do wish your wife all the luck in the world. It is. I understand how difficult it is to make a living doing anything in the art business. It is very hard. So I know your wife makes absolutely magical things. So highly recommended. Right, moving on. I'm going to paint his little tail there. So we're going to just pull out a little bit of skeleton bone for this little tail. The little spiky. Oh my! I seriously cannot speak tonight. Okie dokie, just a little bit of skeleton bone on there. I just use my number 2 brush and we just quickly add that to there. I mean, with the base, this is the simplicity of a base that I've done here. All I've done is added a few little rocks around. I could add a couple of skulls. I could have a couple of skulls dotted around. But what I find is you get to a stage where you are making bases, and if you add skulls to every single base you make, it kind of becomes overwhelming in your miniature painting where all your bases have skulls on. So I'll only add them to certain bases that I really think deserves a skull. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to actually work in some nice brown ink wash on this miniature. This will make it pop. Now I'm using brown ink wash because I want it to be a dirty worm. I want it to be a dirty, dirty little worm. Now the question is, which ink wash shall we go for? We could go for the Agrax, but I think the Agrax might be a little bit too dirty. So what we're going to do, I'm going to try some of the soft tone from Army Painter. This is a medium tone brown ink wash. I think it might work better with the purple because it's not so strong. We're all dirty worms, Mr. Andrew Kaywood. We're all dirty worms. The dirtiest worm of all is Renegade Shank. Yes, my renegade shank. He's a dirty worm. Right then. Okay, so let's have a little look-see and see how this plays out. All I'm going to do is just add this lovely... I'm going to just get a few... I'm going to get a tissue just on the ready. We might need to remove some excess. But what will happen is this will go into all the recesses and pull out all the different colours. And this will work very nicely over the whole miniature. And it's not too dirty, but it's just enough, and it works well with the purple. So that's what I was after. And of course, we've already got our dark shade going around the miniature from the worm from the black and purple we've already added. Now what will happen is, as we get lower down, I'm going to add some black ink wash around the actual stones here. That will pull out the stones a little bit more. I want them to be a little bit darker. Same around here, we'll work our way around. We have to make sure both the tail and the body is exactly the same paint scheme. Otherwise it won't work for this miniature. You have to make sure everything is the same colour. That's lovely. Very, very simple. Once that's dry, we can actually dry brush a little bit more lighter purple along this area and just along this bit here. But what we need to do now is we need to go into some heavy black. Now my favourite black for a strong black ink wash is this one by Vallejo. This is the black wash from Vallejo. Nun oil is fantastic, by the way. I do love Nun oil from Games Workshop, but if you're after a stronger black, this is heavier pigmented ink wash. It's the strongest black on the market at the moment. Look at all you moist, dirty worms. Look at you all in chat. Dirty, dirty little worms. Okay, let's get this little mini finished before. I should get my own paint line. Oh, Captain Nemo, I honestly, look at all these paints I got already. I don't think I need my own paint line at the moment. It would be nice, but honestly, I have a few paints. I am actually a collector of paints as well as miniatures. Collecting paints is just so much fun. All the new colours, oh, it's just amazing stuff. Now, I'm going to blend this brown in with the black going around this rock. This will pull out the rocks at the bottom of this miniature. Like I say, it's a very strong black, and this is what I'm after. I'll work around these rocks here. Again, once this is dry, we'll go back over with that grey, and this will just bring out and finish off those rocks. I'll do the same here, making sure the tail is the same. Just adding a little black around the bottom there. I'm pulling down the brown into the black, so it kind of blends in a little bit more. And what we can do is we can start bringing this black ink wash out around these little rocks here, give them a little bit of shadow. So we've got a little bit of shadow going under these rocks here. So we're just hitting the bottom, right down the bottom end of the rock, right underneath. Get your black in there. This will give a nice shadow under each one of these rocks on your miniature. Same with this one. Right at the bottom of the rock, just add that jet black ink wash. Once that dries, it gives a lovely shade, and of course all to do with shadows. Shadows is very important in your miniature painting. It just brings that extra bit of life to your miniature and makes things stand out more. Like this black is making these stones just stand out a little bit more, and it's giving shadow and depth to what we're doing. Again, working our way around with the black. And there we are. Absolutely awesome, super fast, speedy paint of our little purple worm. And this is the metal version. This metal version is about, I think it's about £25 in UK money, so it's not the cheapest of miniatures. But if you are a collector of metal like myself, then it's something you want to get hold of. Look, this is the only version you're going to get the little tail on. It may seem trivia to many of you. He's paying that extra just for the metal tail. It's just you want the complete miniature. What you'll find is many of the Bones miniatures that you buy, they are remakes of the, or not remakes, they are actual remolds of the metal versions. But what you'll find is a lot of the Bones miniatures that you do buy, they don't have the extras. A prime example of this is Dragoff. If anybody knows Dragoff, the skeleton Bones miniature sitting on his throne. If you buy the metal version of that actual miniature, you get four added head sculpts to that miniature. So there's always plenty of added extras in the metal versions, plus you're getting that added weight. I'm not telling anybody they should buy metal, it's just my own personal favourite to buy metal. So there we are, that's all I do have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the show. It has been absolutely fantastic. It's absolutely beautiful to see Michelle on the show. Thank you so much for popping in on your day off. Now, metal is king. I will be back on Thursday. Now we can either carry on with one of these metal sets. So I'll leave it up to you. What I'll do is I shall put a poll. I'll put a poll up in Twitter, and whoever wants me to paint whatever, I shall paint that on the Thursday show. The dragon will probably be ready for Thursday, and I'm sure you'd probably want me to paint the dragon if Michelle is in chat still. What I'm going to do is we shall raid Reaper. So I shall say goodnight to every single one of you, and I shall go and raid Reaper with you all now. And let me just type that in. Hopefully I've done this correctly this time. There we are. Once again, thank you everybody for the love and support. And Rod, Goblin Boss, well done, mate. He snuck that in there, didn't he? Okay, so we're going to raid Reaper Miniatures. Good night and love to every single one of you.